What's up? I just got back from watching Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, and now I am here to review it for you. Let's get this out of the way. Do I like this movie? I would say I did. I did enjoy this movie, which is kind of rare in modern MCU, but I think this one is actually a good one. I have these tuning forks here. The comedy in this movie was okay. It was good. It was never really like atrocious like in some other Marvel movies. This movie had a lot of serious moments. A lot of emotional weight is in this movie. There were a couple of scenes actually, where I started shed a single tear as they were pulling at your heartstrings a lot. So that's something that MCU doesn't really have anymore. Emotional scenes. This movie has it. The characters are great. The acting is also amazing. And I like what they do, in particular with Gamora, who is, I guess, spoilers if you haven't seen Endgame, who is the old version of Gamora. I thought they would be like some small, like little scene, but no, Gamora actually does seem like she's from that time period she was from, still being the daughter of Thanos. You know, she was just kind of mean, which is what you would expect from past Gamora, and I thought that would be played down, but it was actually done very well. Soundtrack of this movie was pretty good. It's got a lot of that 80s music, I will say. Probably not as good as the last two, simply because of my personal taste, but if you enjoy that music, of course it's going to be in here as well. Another great character, I thought, was the High Evolutionary. This villain was pretty cool. I liked this guy. I've seen some reviewers be like, oh, he's not that intimidating because he yells a lot, like he will lose his temper and yell, but I thought that fit well into that sort of archetypal character, right? I feel like too many people have the opinion that a villain always must be stern and serious and calm and controlled, but, you know, there is an equal threat to someone who's out of control and who will just lash out at anyone and everybody, and that's what the High Evolutionary was. So I thought he was an actually really good villain. Almost kind of too good. Like, High Evolutionary seems like an Avengers level threat. Like, this is something that the Avengers could probably take on. He even had like a very similar power set of powers as Kang the Conqueror from Ant-Man. He's like controlling people, moving people around, which which is strange. So the Gang the Conqueror and like the Evolutionary are like to me comparable in power. Unfortunately, there weren't any ants to deal with High Evolutionary though. The movie is also like surprisingly kind of gory. Like people will actually just start taking off heads and like carrying them around. I was like, Jesus Christ, there were kids in this movie theater. You're walking around with like this guy's head. That was kind of crazy to see a Marvel movie do that. So I thought that was also very cool. We have the orange tube. Now let's start getting into some of the issues I had with the movie. Okay, the first big issue I kind of had is Adam Warlock was sort of just wasted. Like, he was barely in the movie. I'm pretty sure there are more scenes of Adam Warlock in the trailers than there are in the actual movie. It feels like he was only inserted in this film because that was the end credits of the last Guardians of the Galaxy, and they were like, oh my god, we gotta find a way to put Adam Warlock in this. He just like felt out of place completely, and he only had like 3 lines of dialogue. It's just like, what's the purpose of even having him here? It just feels like that whole Adam Warlock storyline was rushed, especially considering the comic books. Adam Warlock came before Infinity War, but whatever, okay. Also, there are like some writing issues. The amount of the word friend gets tossed around in this movie is insane. Every time, it's like every other line in this movie has the word friend in it. I was like, oh my god, if you say friend one more time, alright, I get it, found family, friendship. That's like the whole Guardians of the Galaxy theme. You do not need to keep like saying, you're my friend, like brainwashing me into becoming a friend. It was so annoying to a point. And then, of course, the like standard Marvel pitfalls that these Marvel movies usually fall into, the stereotypical big gallant enemies fighting each other where there's little emotion involved anymore, and you're just sort of watching cool things happen. And then usually it circles back around to the emotion at the very end. You know, just the usual Marvel issues that, which they still have not changed yet. They also have like these weird characters, like there was a pig guy, and he was like a robotic pig man, and he could have just been replaced with Adam Warlock. Like, I just realized this now, you did not need that pig character in the movie. Adam Warlock functions the same way, and it's an actual, like, important character to the story and to the comics. You could have just, like, replaced the pig guy and just, like, shift a couple of scenes around, but whatever. Weird choices. But yeah, that's basically all I have to say about Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. Okay, so what would I give Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3? I'm gonna give this a 8 out of 10, sure. An 8 out of 10. Great characters. I like the villain. I like the emotional weight that this movie had, as well as being somewhat comedic in that Marvel styling. I do think the movie suffers a little bit from length and some wasted potential, in particular with Adam Warlock, but overall, I think this is one of the better Marvel movies in recent years. And it will be the departure of James Gunn from the MCU. He's now moving over to DC. Yeah, okay, let's see if we can save that. That was the orange tube. Well, let me know if you've seen Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 and if you enjoyed it or not. Okay, I hope you enjoyed this review of the movie. I will see you next time. I love you. Bye-bye, 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 bye-bye. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe.